Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa. If you are new here, your favorite problematic housewife. Today we're going to be doing a little video on the Glarer. And wouldn't you know, the Glarer is a mod and very good friend of Dad Challenge podcast. Now, this dude is absolute disgusting trash. And I just want to kind of show you guys a little peek into some of the issues with the Glarer. And the fact that Josh has this disgusting person as a mod is outrageous. I wanted to quickly add that there's going to be a lot of sensitive things talked about in this video. I'm most likely going to get demonetized. If you do want to support my channel, my Cash App is $Notanotherhousewife. I am constantly getting demonetized and limited monetization. I have been trying to cut down on my swearing, but when I do certain topics that talk about R or P's or very sensitive things like that, I pretty much automatically get demonetized. So if you want to donate to my channel, I would really appreciate it. No pressure though. It takes me a lot of time, research, work, getting clips to do these kind of videos, and I love doing it. YouTube is really important to me, but it does suck that I am continuously getting a limited monetization from YouTube. So that really sucks because it would be nice to make some money for all this hard work, you know? Anyways, let's keep going. I will link below all the channels if I got clips from them. I got clips from Captain Kangaroo, DCP and Monkeys. I got clips from BX Beast Boy. BX Beast Boy has been calling out the Glarer for a long time. I just recently started watching his videos on the Glarer, and I am just completely shocked that anybody supports this man. So, especially Josh. If you are unfamiliar with who the Glarer is, he's a YouTuber. He has about 13,000 subscribers. He pretty much does live streams, and he does a lot of true crime, and he'll do like trending topics and stuff like that. He is extremely problematic. You may know him from the Sophie Long case. Him, Annie from 10 to Life, and Josh really pushed a false narrative for the Sophie Long case. They helped Michael Long, the father, who is disgusting and ended up kidnapping his own daughter. And yeah, and they pretty much took no accountability. Yeah, so I am thinking I'm going to do a whole video on that situation with Josh, Annie, and the Glarer, and just do a whole situation video on the Sophie Long case, because that is a whole nother thing. But today I want to show you some clips because this dude that Josh promotes literally admitted to beating his teenage son. He's been accused of SA by 3 women allegedly. Allegedly, 3 other women said that he was physically violent with them. He talks about peas and predator. I mean, this dude just, he's just gross. He really is. And he does a lot of live streams. The true crime community is seriously a mess, you guys. Like, I cannot believe some of the creators that cover true crime. So let's take a look at some clips from the Glarer, Josh's bestie and moderator. I got a bunch of clips from BX Beast Boy. He has done a ton of coverage on the Glarer, like I said. I don't agree with all his opinions, but he did do a good job calling this disgusting person out. So let's just take a look and let the clips speak for themselves.
Glarer is next, buddy. Everybody go subscribe to Will. Let's get that guy up to 100,000. Glarer is next, buddy. Everybody go subscribe to Will. Let's get that guy up to 100,000.
Basically, what I did was my brother was like, you have to have her sign something that agrees and get it notarized that she agrees to give me access to his medical and school records if he's going to stay with me. I said, okay. So what I did was I basically just went down there. I was down there the next day after they told me.
True.
And so I confronted her and her husband. And I said, you're going to sign this, or I'm going to take the physical evidence, meaning the pictures that I have. And my son was more than willing to talk to the police because I'll never
Okay, so you blackmailed her into letting you have your kid.
forget the words that he told me. I said, son, I was straight up with him. He was 15. I said, son, you're gonna have to understand that what may happen here is you might end up in a group home. And I can't tell you for how long. And his words to me, his response to me was, I don't care. Get me away from them.
Okay, so
that
you
was
should
his
have called.
response to me.
Okay,
And
so then you should have reported it. Did you report it? Because it looked like he was ride or die. You should have reported. You should have.
She stalled, and her thing is always, oh, my health. She's nobody knows what the hell's wrong with her. She's always, my health. No, whenever she gets cornered, she's, oh my.
Hold on, I want to read this because I do mention this within this video as well. He's lying. He took his kid without going through the proper way. He just took off, and his ex said, right, let him stay for a month. Let's not get into a nasty battle, and they never return his son.
Okay, so what I was getting out of this whole thing was that his teenage son, was having issues at home, allegedly. Glairer allegedly thought that he was being abused. We don't know the story. We don't have any proof of any of this as far as I know. Like I said, I just really started digging into this. So as I find more things, I'll put it together and make a more in-depth video if I need to. But instead of doing it the right way, he literally just blackmailed his ex and said, if you don't sign over so I can have my son, I'm going to release whatever photos I have on you. So she was pretty much forced to sign. So I thought it was relevant to show this because he fought so hard for Michael Long, who was the father of Sophie Long. And Michael Long ended up taking his daughter. Like, it's a similar situation where you just cause all this drama, go and take your kid, you're not doing it the right way. So it kind of makes sense why he was so ride or die for Michael, because he was kind of doing the same thing. So the clip that was just played, he was pretty much blackmailing his ex, his son's mother, so that she would sign the papers, and he was going to release some kind of photos. Have no idea what the photos are that he was threatening to release if she didn't sign these papers. In this next clip, you're going to see the Glairer admit to beating and trying to fight his special needs son and justifying it. Oh yeah.
I can understand you guys wanting to understand. And so, things were tough, and I just wasn't fit. And I can admit that I was not fit to take care of him and meet his needs. He had special needs at this point.
So he knows he's not a fit parent, yet he dragged his son out of his home. He didn't do it the right way. He just went and took his son, brought him to Georgia, thousands of miles away from where he's from, okay? And then he's having issues and he can't even take care of him. This is insane.
Psychological special needs at this point. I'm quite ashamed of this, actually. But and we had our arguments. There was one time where it got very physical. But I mean, he was 6'2" at the time, and I told him to put up his hands. We had our arguments. There was one time where it got very physical. But I mean, he was 6'2" at the time. Got very physical. We had our arguments. There was one time where it got very physical. But I mean, he was 6'2" at the time.
Here's the thing. He's saying that his son was 6'2" at the time. Like, he had no choice but to fight the kid because he's so big and tall. Yet, it is irrelevant how tall the child was because, number one, it doesn't matter how tall your child is. You do not beat your child. But number two, he forced his son to fight him. He literally said, put up your hands. We're going to fight. So why would you force your son to fight who's 6'2", but now you're acting like you had to defend yourself when you were the one who instigated the fight? That doesn't even make sense at all.
Is gonna put up with, and what? I don't.
He literally says he told his son to put up his hands. He said that his son has psychological special needs. He did something that was unforgivable. I don't give a shit what his son did. To put your hands on your son, to punch him, to beat your kid, whether he's a teenager and 6'2" or not, is absolutely gross. And yes, he says he regrets it, but you know what? No, that is awful. Awful. I don't even know what else to say to that. And he's just justifying it. Like, even though he's saying he regrets it, he spends the entire time justifying why he did it and making excuses. This is who Josh supports. This is who Josh has a mod. Okay? The man who's supposedly leading the movement to protect kids has a friend and moderator that beats his own son. And not only beats him, makes him put up his hands to fight.
You beat the fuck out of him.
Oh no!
Please show me that, Clara.
No. He was 15. That wasn't me that left those.
Oh
bruises.
my! Please show me.
So this is a woman who I believe has been exposing the Glarer. She had a Facebook group, a bunch of documents. I'm still looking into this whole thing and all the receipts she has.
Those are the pictures that his sister sent me.
Oh my lord!
Which made me go to California and get him.
Show me the bruises on his arms.
Why would she ever agree for him to go stay with my brother? Because that's true. Yeah, I did. I went and I physically picked him up.
Took him, and the same situation what Kelly and Michael's going through.
And he was willing to go. He asked me to pick him up. He begged me, actually. He said, Dad, I don't care. I told him, you may end up in a group home because of all the differences. Listen, no. Here, you have me here. So let me explain.
Please explain.
Okay. So he
had bruises on his arm, and you went and took your child from the home because he had bruises on his arm. You said your son
bruises
also
on his arm and on his neck, as a matter of fact. Yes.
But when you beat him up, you beat the fuck out of him.
That has nothing to do with anything.
It does, because if you're saying child abuse is bruises on an arm from finger marks.
When I did hit him, because there was one time, and it was 3 years later, 3 years later, he was 6'2".
I don't care how tall a child is.
He was 6'2".
I know kids that are 6'3".
Shut up. Listen. He was 6'2", and I told him to put up his hands because he did something that was completely unforgivable.
Never embarrass him.
I will never embarrass him by telling you what he did.
I don't care what he did.
And I stand by what I did.
A child should never be, put up your hands.
No. I should have never put my hands on him. I regret that. But I did.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. What you're talking about is a twist of the facts.
This is the mod and friend of the Dad Challenge podcast. The Glarer, Will, has admitted multiple times to beating his special needs son. Oh, because he was 6'2", it was okay. Because he did something unforgivable, it was okay. This guy is absolutely disgusting. Like, I just started looking into him, and already he just makes me so angry. And I cannot believe he is a mod for the Dad Challenge podcast who fights for children. This is outrageous. Like, I can't even believe this guy would admit to beating his own son. You can't get lower than that, man. And now in this next clip, he's going to admit to kicking his son to the curb. So first he steals the child, the kid, from the mother because he thinks that he's being abused. Steals the mother, steals the kid. Then he beats the kid because he did something to piss him off. And then after that, he kicks the boy to the curb. Out in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't know where he is, has nowhere to go. That's what kind of father this guy is.
And can you talk about the time that you kicked him out the house? Why was that?
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about any of this other bullshit. I'm telling you straight up.
Nasty.
I'm telling you straight up. What happened between me and my son.
She didn't lie, you nasty bastard. You did that. And he's going to admit to something right now that I was surprised that I was like, oh my God, he's covering children?
Not twisting it. I'm saying to you.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay,
I'm
can you
being an
talk
open
about
book.
why did you chuck him out in the mid? Why did you chuck your child out in Georgia and he had no place to go? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
I'm not going to put my son's personal life.
You just have.
I have reasons for doing certain things, but that would be embarrassing my son. Yes, and I'll take that. I'll take that. Sure, I'll take that.
Why did your son say that he wanted to go home and write a statement that he wanted to live with his mum?
He never wrote a statement saying that he wanted to live with his mom. Never.
I have a statement from your son.
You have a court document saying that?
It's in my group, like I've made you aware. Maybe
is it a court document?
Oh my God! It's all from court documents.
You said that I raped women?
There is a rape allegation against you. Yes.
From who? Show me that.
That's in my group as well.
There's one rape, opposed to the 6 rape?
No,
Did you just hear him? Did you just hear what he just said?
There's one rape, opposed to the 6 rape?
No, there's
one rape, opposed to the 6 rape?
No, there's 3 ladies that claim six women claimed abuse.
There's 3, but there's 1.
Yes, because only having one R allegation is just, that makes it so much better. Wow.
6 women that have claimed that you were physically violent with them. 6 women claimed you were physically violent with them.
It's not rape.
3 women.
It's physical violence, not rape. That's what you're saying.
No, 3 women claimed that they were physically raped by you. And 1 woman made a police report that you raped.
Yeah, she's saying
Wow. Just wow. Now, obviously, all of this is alleged. We don't know. 1 woman made a police report, okay, but it didn't go anywhere, and the woman is about to explain that. But just because he wasn't arrested and the case didn't continue does not mean it didn't happen. There's many times where women get R'd and the person doesn't get arrested or charged or anything like that. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. If you have 6 women who are coming out making accusations against this one guy of physical violence, of R, I'm sorry, but there's a problem. There's a problem. This guy is gross. And again, I will keep saying it throughout this video. This is the Dad Challenge podcast friend and moderator. He has a man who has been accused of violence and SA by 6 women. He allegedly did this to 6 women. And Josh thinks it's okay to have him as a mod in a chat full of women. Josh's main audience is women. So you have this guy who is being accused of all this disgusting things towards women. He hits his child, and you're just letting him mod on your channel. What the F is wrong with these people?
Completely derailed the live. But what had happened was Beatrix, his ex, who goes by Barbie, she had made a Dropbox about him, and it's quite a huge Dropbox with loads of court documents and evidence. And she posted it on Glara's Live several months ago and gave it to Critical K and several other people. I myself have it. And in that Dropbox is all the evidence. So when I was doing some digging and being nosy, because I really wanted to, I'll be truthful, wanted to expose Glara, I ended up getting in contact with the ladies' names in the statements, in the police reports. And when I contacted them, there's one lady who has made a rape allegation against Glara that went, I want to state this like I did on my live. It went absolutely nowhere. Glara said that it was consensual and there wasn't enough evidence and he was not charged with it. That's the end of that allegation. So when I seen that and I read that statement, the nosy side of me because I was already in contact with those other women in Facebook Messenger. I just asked them, look, I've got this person's allegation. Did anything ever happen to you? Do you mind me asking? Was you raped? And they went, oh no, we don't mind at all. And two of the women said, so that would make it 3 women. 2 of the women said they felt sometimes when he would have a drink and he would be intoxicated, that they couldn't say no and they had no choice. And that they felt like he was pushy and that they was raped. And Nas and I said, well, legally, I can't go and say that because you've not made a police report. It's not gone anywhere. But I will say alleged. And I made the police report and I'll mention what yous have said. And I took like little mini statements from them. I said,
let's just get something straight here. Let's go over what consent is. Consent means a person has given voluntary permission to participate in a particular activity. Consensual sexual activity means that everyone involved has actively agreed to what they are doing without being forced, coerced, or under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Without this active verbal agreement, any sexual activity is considered sexual assault. If you are intoxicated, you cannot consent. Hear that loud and clear, all you douchebags out there. If a woman is drunk, she cannot consent. Which means that is R. Okay? Don't ever let anybody tell you that if you sleep with someone and you are trashed, blacked out, if you are drunk, do not let any man or anyone tell you that you were not assaulted because you gave consent. Because you cannot consent when you are under the influence. Yes means yes. Consent is not the absence of a no. It is the presence of a clear affirmative expression of interest, desire, and wants. Consent involves all parties, with each person setting their boundaries or sharing their desires. Consent is respectful, mutual decision making. So if any of these women were drunk with him and they feel like they were assaulted, then they were. Because you cannot really consent when you are under the influence. And if they weren't drunk, he was just drunk, coercing them or putting pressure on them to do things, that is still considered SA.
It doesn't make them.
I didn't fuck her. I played with a boob. You son of a bitch.
Okay, it doesn't make a guy
right.
19 play with a 16-year-old boobs a horrible person when he's 45. You know what I'm saying? Like
at 45, at 45, if I wanted 16
throwing that in somebody's face, you sound crazy.
If I wanted 16-year-old boobs at 45, I wouldn't be dating a girl with a triple E. You dumb weirdos. Like, I don't care about anybody who to me. Here's what defines a pedo. Like, you're attracted to flat things, whether it be boys or girls. Like, I'm like, this is what defines a pedo. You don't like curves if you're a guy, or maybe if you're a gay predator, then you don't like fully formed testicles. I don't know, but whatever it is, like, it's like, no, it's not the same. Like, you can like that. I don't like the fact that there's a law at all where thankfully it changed in California after my time, that a girl is still in 14 states now. A girl is still allowed to lie about her age and get away with it and make that guy go to jail. I obviously have a personal thing with that. That pisses me off. And I told that to Josh, and Josh was like, ooh, 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 ooh. And I was like, no, listen, bullshit. It's not true. Like I say, this is not the way things should go. Like, if a girl says, let's say, okay, it's Alabama, legal age 16, and then the guy is 16 3/4, or maybe even 17. He's a senior, she's a junior, but they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and he's a senior and he's a junior, and she's like, I was born in August, as opposed to I was born in October. And then he's like, oh, cool. I trust you. Boom. So in certain states, that can still land him in prison. That's bullshit. Like, there's fine lines between, are you a pedo or are you a young person with a young person? Like, that's, I know that's not a real popular set of activism joints to get behind, but it's true. Like, that's bullshit. And I'm angry about it just as much as I am about guys diddling kids. Like, well, that's worse actually, but like, it's either way, it's an injustice. And I don't like injustice.
Lungs first, or if she do some t-shirts. This thing is just clicking. It's just clicking. Glare is next, buddy. Everybody go subscribe to Will. Let's get that guy up to 100,000.
As you guys can see, these people are just absolutely disgusting. Josh is trash. The Glarer is trash. And guess what? Annie from 10 to Life, she's a fucking bitch. Okay, I said it. I know I'm trying not to swear that much in this video, but I cannot help it with her. At this point, if you support Josh, I am going to look into you. I am going to come for every single creator that support Josh. If Josh promotes you, I'm looking into you. I'm going to do a deep dive on all you motherfuckers. The Glarer, Annie from 10 to Life. Any creator that associates with Josh, I'm coming for you. As a content creator. Obviously, that's not a threat in any other way, shape, or form. But they're all getting deep dives. I have had it. I have had it with this nasty group of people pretending they're fighting causes, true crime, saving kids, exploited kids, and they're all doing this nasty, nasty stuff. No. It needs to be exposed. It needs to be talked about. I am going to do an entire deep dive onto Annie, the Glarer, and Josh when it comes to the Sophie Long case. I have a deep dive coming on Josh himself, so stay tuned for that. We need to speak out about these people. And not only do we need to speak out about Josh, but we need to speak out about all the creators and associates of Josh, because they are just as bad, if not worse, as him. And he's modding them, promoting them, friends with them. This whole community and circle of creators around Josh, all of these fucking people need to be exposed. So I'm going to start looking into all of them. Deep dives on everybody. I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.